We do want to turn now to America Votes in just 3 days. And this morning, we're highlighting the importance of the native vote. It comes at a time where Arizona remains a key battleground state in this election. ABC 15's Louise just went into the community to hear from some of the voices that could make the greatest impact come Tuesday.
In Saline, population 1,408 on Arizona's northeastern border, a key endorsement.
Yate, Navajo Nation, and my fellow Native relatives in the great state of Arizona, I'm here today to encourage you to make the best decision for our people's future by voting for Ruben Gallego.
Ian Teller is being sought nationwide. His support broadcast by the likes of Kamala Harris herself.
I think we're realizing our power and understanding how important our participation is.
He's 24 years old and the founder of When Natives Vote, a group that works on getting more Indigenous people to the polls, regardless of their political leanings. He's found success on TikTok.
Do you plan on voting this election?
Part of a younger generation of natives who are taking their future
Today we have our first event here in Tuba City
into their own hands.
I mean, you have like 28,000 followers. That's 28,000 people who could possibly shift things.
The power of the native vote, something both sides are trying to harness. But Ian was initially skeptical.
I'm not used to it.
To share his personal leanings.
I am very progressive. I have a lot of fear for the opposition. I have a significant audience that I think is paying attention to what I have to say. It made me feel like, okay, but don't waste that.
Democrats have long relied on native votes, but they can't anymore.
I don't think that our community is a guaranteed blue area. Under Republican presidents, Democratic presidents, our communities for a long time have been ignored. Our communities for a long time have been oppressed.
Of all the battleground states this election year, none have more eligible Native voters than Arizona. More than enough to swing this election. Native Americans make up 5% of Arizona's population, in a state Joe Biden only won by about 10,500 votes in 2020. Campaigns taking notice. The Navajo Nation is Arizona's largest tribe. Both Senate candidates took part in the Navajo Nation parade in September. Dedicated ads going out over the airwaves.
The relationship between tribal nations and the United States is sacred.
The Trump campaign set up a dedicated Navajo Nation field office. The Harris campaign hired 29 full-time staff for Arizona's tribal communities. And in October,
hello, Window Rock,
Tim Walz becoming what is believed to be the first candidate in a major party presidential campaign to visit the Navajo Nation. Introduced,
are you guys ready to meet the coach?
By Ian, but it might all be too little, too late for some. Jim Rick Dabbs left the reservation. He spends his daylight cleaning bottom ash from a boiler plant near his home in Joseph City. At 47 years old, he's treading new ground this election.
I always voted Democrat, and until this year.
He brought with him his wife, his son, and his mother.
It made me so mad. They always say, oh, we're going to change this, we're going to give you this much money, and your infrastructure and all that's going to get fixed. I don't see it. We got potholes out there that's been there for 20 years.
Party switchers like Jim Ricks now blame the Democrats they've spent decades supporting.
It's not right to see your elders that way and your veterans. And I believe that's going to change here soon.
He's not alone in his frustrations.
These campaigns won your vote. Do you think they have gone the distance to actually earn it?
I would say there's always room for improvement.
Further south, near Phoenix.
Okay, hi.
Hey, nice to meet
Governor
you.
Louise, yes.
Gila River Governor Stephen Roe Lewis has spent years relationship building with the federal government.
This could be a historic time in American history where we could really have such a cooperative, respectful relationship between the White House and the federal government and tribes.
It was Gila River land where President Joe Biden chose to apologize for the Native boarding schools that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of Native children over the course of decades.
Quite frankly, there's no excuse that this apology took 50 years to make.
This could be a sort of a new chapter of self-determination of where tribes can exercise their tribal sovereignty.
That phrase, tribal sovereignty, being used by Kamala Harris throughout her campaigns in Arizona this year.
I will always honor tribal sovereignty. sovereignty and respect tribal self-determination.
That decision to recognize tribal power explicitly stands out to some.
To see her say that, for me, it was a powerful experience.
But they worry about Trump's ability to see it at all.
Project 2025, if that is former President Trump's platform, that would have devastating effects to tribal sovereignty, to defunding education and healthcare issues, natural resources, potentially even water rights.
Trump has denied being affiliated with Project 2025.
When you talk about having a seat at the table, would you have that in a Trump administration?
I don't know. From a lack of information, I would have some very serious concerns.
We took that question directly to J.D. Vance.
Your campaign has been working particularly hard this election season to win over the votes of Native voters here in Arizona. Can you promise that they'll be able to have a seat at the table, potentially roles in your administration?
The thing I promise, both for me and also on behalf of President Trump, is look, we're not always going to agree on every issue, but what I always promise is we're always going to listen to people, and Native and tribal folks are always going to have a seat at the table.
With time ticking toward Election Day, both parties know they need Native votes. And Indian country knows it too.
We deserve the attention. Native people are recognizing that and recognizing their power, and people who are running for office see that.
For ABC 15's political team, I'm Louise, just in the Navajo Nation.